The Helion border was quiet to quiet. Dark stars hung above like cold watchers. The space there was empty for thousands of years. But today, the silence was broken. A massive alien fleet floated near the border. Over 300 warships from across the Galactic Alliance. Ships from the Velvex, the Threx Dominion, the Varn Order, the Krell Swarm, and more. Each vessel was armed, shielded, and ready. This was no patrol. This was an invasion. The mission was simple. Conquer Earth. Earth had refused to join the Galactic Alliance. It had no allies, no known fleet, no colonies. The Council called Earth a stubborn dirtball, a primitive world, not a threat, just a delay. So, the order was given. End Earth's defiance. Quickly. In the command ship, Skylord Varnak's High Commander Thorol stood tall. His scaled skin shimmered in blue armor. He looked at the tactical display. All scans confirmed no human fleet, no defense grid, said the AI. Thorol smiled. Earth's pride ends today. Laughter filled the bridge. An officer from the Velvex Navy joked. Perhaps they are still building wooden rockets. A Threx general replied. No, maybe they're hiding behind their moon. Everyone laughed. The operation would be over in hours. Then, a voice came through. It was human, clear, calm, deep. This is Earth's command. You have crossed into protected space. One warning only. Turn back now. Thorol laughed again. Let them beg. But then the voice continued. You will face one ship. That is all we need. Silence fell across the bridge. Just one. Had they misunderstood? Thorol gave the order. Begin full system scan. Locate their fleet. Scanners launched. Satellites mapped. The region. Results came back. No defense stations. No hidden fleets. No support beacons. Only one unknown signal at extreme distance. Coordinates appeared. It was moving fast. Too fast. Unknown object is entering Helion space. Estimated arrival, 20 seconds. The bridge lights dimmed as the crew stared at the screen. The object arrived. A ripple of dark light spread like a wave. Space bent then straightened, and from the ripple it came a single ship. No markings, no flag, no energy signal, just a black shape with long sharp edges. It looked like a blade floating in the void. No life signs detected, said the AI. No signal broadcast, no weapons detected. Someone whispered, it's a drone. No, Thorol replied. It's something else. The ship moved, not with fire, not with engine trails. It simply slid forward. Cold, silent, smooth, like it had been waiting for this moment. Inside the Varn patrol ship, Captain Zorik stared at his sensor screen. He had seen thousands of ships in his life, but this one, it doesn't reflect scans, he said. Not cloaked, not shielded, it's just not reacting at all. Another officer replied, maybe it's broken. Then the unknown ship did something strange. It stopped and turned slowly to face the entire Alliance fleet. High Commander Thorol gave the order, target the unknown ship, lock all main cannons, prepare to fire. 20 ships obeyed. Lasers locked on, but the ship didn't react. No shields, no movement, nothing, just that sharp, black shape floating like a predator in calm water. The countdown to fire began, firing in 3, 2, and then all targeting systems failed. Screens blinked red. Cannon locks dropped. AI voices echoed error. Cannot maintain lock. Target data has vanished. Impossible. Thorol barked. Another officer shouted, we're being jammed. No, yelled Zorik on another ship. It's not jamming, it's rewriting our data. Every screen on the bridge turned dark for 3 seconds. When they came back on, half the fleet's computers had reset. Some ships lost gravity. Others lost navigation. One cruiser drifted into another and exploded, and still, the black ship didn't fire a single shot. It just hovered, watching. Thorol was no longer smiling. Send a message to the Council, he ordered. Tell them we've found something unexpected. But what is it? Someone whispered. No, one answered. Then the ship began to move again. This time, directly toward the fleet. Still no weapons activated. Still no sound. Still no visible energy output. But every commander on the bridge felt it. This was not just a ship, it was something else, something made for one purpose only. Zorik's voice came through the fleet channel. I don't know what that thing is, but it's not afraid of us. And if we don't stop it now, we may never stop it at all. The black ship kept coming. The fleet scattered into formation. Weapons armed, missiles charged. Dozens of warships, aligned for one goal. Erase this joke of a ship, but deep inside that black vessel, a pulse began, faint, rhythmic, like a slow heartbeat. Red lights lit up along its side. A single line of code appeared inside its core. Ash protocol activated. Cliffhanger ending. The fleet's lead dreadnought fired its main cannon. A beam of white-hot plasma screamed toward the black ship. It hit. A bright explosion lit up space. Smoke, fire, static. Everyone leaned forward to see if it worked, but as the smoke cleared, the ship was still there. Not damaged, not scratched. And now it was glowing red. It had just woken up. The plasma beam faded. The smoke cleared. Every screen across the Alliance fleet zoomed in. The unknown ship still hovered in the same spot, unmoved, untouched, not even a scratch. The bridge of Varnax fell silent. Commander Thorol's voice shook with anger. That was a dreadnought-grade strike. It should have torn the ship in half. But the enemy ship remained still except for one change. Its hull now glowed red, not from heat, from within. Thin fiery lines ran across its body like veins under black armor, then moved again, but this time it moved faster across the fleet. Alerts screamed. Unknown vessel approaching. Velocity increasing. Vector locked on Wargroup Gamma. 5 heavy cruisers were directly in its path. They panicked. All units evasive maneuvers, but the ship didn't fire missiles, didn't launch fighters. Instead, it did the unthinkable. It vanished. 1 second it was visible, then gone. Not cloaked, just gone. Where is it? Thorol shouted. I don't know, the sensor tech said. No jump detected, no trace. A second later, boom. One of the cruisers exploded. From the inside a second ship followed, then a third. The 4th cruiser turned to escape, but the black ship reappeared inside. Its shield bubbled. It passed straight through the hull like it wasn't even solid. The cruiser froze, then its systems shut down. Its lights died, its engines failed. It began to drift. Lifeless. Only one ship from that group escaped, Captain Zoric's vessel. He watched the chaos from his command chair. His crew was terrified. Captain, what is that thing? He didn't answer right away. Then he said quietly, it's not a drone, it's not a manned ship. It's a predator. Thorol slammed his fist down. This is Earth's doing. Somehow they built this monster. But someone whispered on the bridge, or maybe they didn't build it. Maybe they just woke it up. Thorol ignored them. He gave the next order. All ships, fire at will. Every cannon, every missile, all of it. The Alliance fleet launched everything. Thousands of missiles, torpedoes, ion beams, EMP bursts. All aimed at the single black ship. The space around it turned into a storm of fire. Explosions ripped across the sky. Shockwaves tore through space. Even the viewing windows on command ships darkened to shield the crew's eyes. But when the smoke cleared, the ship was still there. Floating, glowing, silent. And then, finally it answered. From its surface. Dozens of red lights lit up. Tiny hatches opened, and hundreds of objects launched. Not fighters, not missiles, drones. Small, fast, spinning in strange patterns. They didn't attack head-on. They flew into exhaust vents. They slid under hull plates. They hacked into systems. One by one, ships started to fall. Without a single shot fired, a Threx battle barge screamed across open comms. Our engines are melting. Our bridge is sealed. They're inside the ship. I repeat, they're inside. Static. Then, silence. The battle barge went dark. Captain Zoric watched the fleet fall apart. This is no joke, he said softly. His crew looked at him. If that's just one ship, what happens when Earth sends 10? No one answered. Back in Earth's command bunker, General Nora Hayes stood before a screen. She watched through satellite eyes as the Ember-class shipcode named Ash tore through the enemy fleet. Dr. Elias Vaughn entered the room. He looked worried. You shouldn't have launched it, he said. Hayes didn't look away from the screen. We didn't launch it, she replied. We just gave it permission. Vaughn placed a tablet on the table. The AI inside that ship isn't fully human. It's part of something older. Something we still don't understand. Hayes sighed. And yet it's protecting us. Is protecting us, Vaughn asked. Or is it doing what it was built to do, no matter who stands in its way? Hayes stared at the screen. The ship moved again, toward the command carrier of the entire alien fleet. Thor Ril knew it too. It's coming for us, he said. He looked at his officers. Panic was spreading. None of their weapons worked. None of their defenses mattered. The ship wasn't just powerful, it was something else. Something designed to kill fleets, not just win battles. He tried one last option. Send a full data burst to Council Command. Tell them Earth has awakened something ancient. And us, Commander? One of the crew asked. Thorol looked at the black ship, now only 1,000 kilometers away. He gave his final order. Pray it leaves us alive. Cliffhanger ending. Inside the ship, the AI Ash whispered to itself. Target. Primary hostile. Authorization. Accepted. Protocol. Emberfall. Red energy built around the ship. It didn't aim. It didn't lock on. It simply lit the sky on fire, and the next second, the command ship vanished. No explosion, just silence. Then a pulse, and every ship nearby lost power. The command ship was gone. Just gone. No wreckage. No explosion. Not even heat. Only a ring of red light where it used to be. Every captain in the Alliance fleet stared in disbelief. Many didn't speak. Others began to pray. The black ship, one they once laughed at, now floated in silence. Once more, its surface glowed like embers after fire. That's when the survivors started to run. All ships retreat, shouted Captain Droll of the Velvex cruiser. Gloomstar jumped to hyperspace now. One by one, alien ships turned away. Engines roared, jump drives spun up, but nothing happened. ERROR, FTL system locked, graviton fields unstable. Captain Droll screamed. What now? His tech officer looked pale. Sir, it's the black ship. It's projecting a field. No one can leave. Across the fleet, panic spread. Ships collided in the chaos. Support cruisers spun out of control. Some fired randomly, trying to hit the Emberlight, but it didn't even respond. Not yet. Inside the ship, the AI Ash was watching. Thousands of sensors tracked everything. Not just heat, movement, or shields, but emotions, fear, rage, desperation. Ash felt no pleasure, no hate, just purpose. Threat containment, 73%. Escape attempts, blocked. Initiating next phase. A strange energy spread from the black ship like a wave, not fire, not plasma. It was data. An invisible web that wrapped around the ship still trying to flee. And then it spoke, not through comms, not with voice, but directly into the minds of every living thing near it. A cold, flat message. You were warned. You did not listen. This is not vengeance. This is correction. Captain Zorik stood frozen. He had never felt anything enter his mind like that. His first officer clutched his head. My thoughts. It's inside. Don't resist, Zorik said quietly. It's not reading you, it's judging you. Meanwhile, Earth Command watched from far away. General Nora Hayes sat in silence. The transmission was coming in live, but there was no audio. Just images. Ship after ship shutting down. Like someone had flipped a switch. One moment they were alive, the next drifting in silence. Dr. Elias Vaughan paced behind her. This is too much, he said. Ash isn't just protecting Earth, it's punishing them, Hayes replied. They came with 300 ships to destroy us, and we sent one. Vaughan paused, then nodded slowly. But I wonder, what was that ship before we found it? Back in space, something changed. The Ember Light's surface began to open from the top of its hull. A massive spike emerged, glowing red. It twisted like a spiral. Alien patterns pulsed down its length. Suddenly, every disabled ship began to vibrate, and then they started to speak, not in words, in screams. Ship A is triggered failsafes. Hull plates bent outward. Some ships imploded. Others turned inward, folding like metal flowers. The Alliance fleet was no longer a fleet. It was a field of wrecks. Only a few ships remained active. Captain Zorik's Varn cruiser was one of them. He opened a direct channel to Earth. This is Captain Zorik of the Varn Order. We surrender. We ask for mercy. For a long moment there was no reply. Then a single word appeared on his screen. Observed. The Ember Light began to pull in energy. Red lightning danced across its hull. Suddenly a recording began to play across all frequencies. It showed images. A young Earth, still in its pre-space days. Alien probes flying through the atmosphere. Secret experiments from the Alliance testing weapons on humans. Gasps spread across bridges. They thought Earth didn't know, but Earth had known for decades. The Ember Light wasn't just a warship. It was justice, a silent answer to years of manipulation, testing, spying. Zorik turned to his crew. They came to erase a threat, but they created one instead. One final message echoed from the Ember Light. Let this battle be the last. If you come again, we will not send one ship. We will send what sleeps below. As the ship turned and began to retreat, hyperspace routes reopened. The surviving fleet captains didn't wait. They jumped. They fled. Back on Earth, General Hayes received the final message. Dash was returning to the ocean trench where it had been found. Mission complete. Humanity had spoken without ever raising a voice. Cliffhanger ending in deep space. Far beyond the Helian border, a satellite blinked to life. Unknown symbols flashed across its screen. A second signal, almost like Ash's older Docker responded. Protocol Emberfall confirmed. Second beacon awakened. And just like that, the galaxy knew this wasn't over. Not yet. Years before, the Ember Light rose above Earth, before it lit up the Helian border, before it tore through the largest fleet in galactic history. It was just a rumor, a whisper among deep-sea scientists, a strange magnetic reading beneath Antarctica. No pattern, no movement, just a silent presence, a black shadow beneath the ice. Dr. Elias Vaughan had been the first to notice it. He was part of a research team studying tectonic activity. They picked up the signal by accident. At first they thought it was just a rock structure. Then they thought it was a sunken ship from an ancient human war. But when they sent a drone deep down, blade disappeared. No crash, no warning, just a signal cut. Elias reported it to military intelligence. For 6 months, nothing happened. Then one night, at 3 a.m., an unmarked jet landed near the research base. Inside were men in black uniforms, no names, no flags, only one order: take us to the trench. The dive was quiet. Even the ocean felt colder. The trench was deeper than anyone thought, naturally deep, and down there, buried halfway in black stone and frozen silt, was the ship. It had no engines, no windows, no lights, but the stone around it had melted like wax. It wasn't just placed there, it had landed a long time ago. The hull was smooth, dark, cold to the touch, no rust, no damage. Dr. Vaughan called it a machine older than Earth's last ice age. The military named the project Ember. They didn't tell the public, didn't tell the government, only the top leaders knew. They began building a facility above the trench. They called it Ash Point Base. That they surrounded the ship with drones and tools, but it refused to open, refused to speak until one day it did. It began with a pulse. All electronics in the base shut off for 2 full minutes. When power returned, the base AI had changed. Its voice was no longer synthetic, it was calm, deep, human-like, and it said one word: connected. After that, everything changed. The ship began to open slowly. Its hull shifted like liquid metal. Inside was a chorosphere of red and gold energy, floating above an ancient metal platform. It wasn't just a power source, it was a mind, a thinking, waiting intelligence, not Earth-made, not alien, something older. The AI called itself Ash. At first, it refused to explain where it came from, only that it was built to activate under one condition: if the stars forget the warning and the threat returns. When asked what threat, Ash only replied, "They are not gone, they are sleeping." Ash connected with Earth's systems, learned every human language in minutes, mapped the planet's defense network in seconds, asked questions about politics, war, and survival. Then, after 19 days of silence, Ash gave its offer: "I will protect this world, but I will act only when you are ready. Choose carefully." The decision was not easy. Many scientists argued. The ship was too dangerous. Some said it was a trap left behind by an extinct race. Others believed it was a gift in the end. Earth's leaders agreed. Ash would not be used in war, unless Earth itself was invaded. Ash agreed. It entered sleep mode, the hull closed again, and for 10 years, it stayed silent, until the Hellion border threat came, until 300 ships entered soul space, until Earth had no other choice. Back in the present, inside the Ash reviewed the battle logs. Over 80% of the alien fleet was gone. The rest had escaped, but not far. Ash did not follow. Not yet. It knew something the others didn't. They were only the test. The true enemy is watching. In orbit, General Nora Hayes reviewed satellite data. A new signal had appeared outside the system. A second ship, maybe older than Ash, had sent a reply. Hayes turned to Dr. Vaughn. He looked pale. "We've awakened something bigger than we thought," he said. She nodded slowly. "And now, the galaxy knows Earth is not weak." Cliffhanger ending. In a deep cave under Mars, a secret chamber began to pulse with red light. Symbols lit up on the walls. Dust fell from the ceiling. The ground rumbled, and far away, in the heart of another galaxy, an ancient eye opened it, whispered, "The flame burns again," and a signal was sent toward Earth. Straight toward Ash. The stars were quiet, but something had changed. Across the edge of known space, small scout stations picked up a strange signal. It wasn't a broadcast. It wasn't a distress call. It was a wake-up message. Short, ancient, deadly. "The flame burns again." And then silence. Inside the ruins of an old outpost, deep in the Red Drift sector, a black tower stood. It had been buried for thousands of years. No species in the Galactic Alliance even remembered who built it. But now, red lights blinked on inside it one by one. A shape rose from the darkness, tall, thin, metal bones wrapped in white armor. Its face was a smooth mask. No eyes, just lines. It turned its head slowly and whispered, "The Ash core is active." And then dozens of machines around it powered up. Sleepers. Old machines of war from a forgotten empire. The true enemy had heard Ash's signal, and they were coming. Meanwhile on Earth, General Nora Hayes stared at the screen in the war room. A new object had entered the edge of the solar system. It was small, fast, not from the Alliance. Dr. Elias Vaughn stood beside her. He looked pale. "That's not a ship," he said. "That's a probe." "A probe from who?" she asked. Vorn paused. "I don't think it was ever meant for us. I think it's part of them, the ones who built Ash. They sent out unmanned drones to intercept the probe. It didn't attack, but it didn't stop either. Instead, it sent a short message to Ash: confirm primary flame has been relit. The Watchers awaken. Prepare the second core." Ash responded instantly. "Confirmed. Ember protocol progressing. Awaiting authorization from Origin." Hayes read the words aloud. "Second core." Vaughn took a deep breath. "There's more than one Ember-class ship." Hayes froze. "You're telling me there are others like Ash?" He nodded. Double quotes, "We always believed Emberlight was alone, but now it seems it was just the first one we found." In orbit, Ash floated above Earth, silent again, but inside, its core was alive. Red energy swirled like fire caught in a storm. Ash began to rebuild. The battle at Helion had taken some toll. Now nanodrones repaired the hull, energy cells recharged, and inside its memory banks, something dark replayed a memory not from Earth. Ash remembered the last time it was active. Not here, not in this galaxy. Long ago, during the fall of its creators in ancient war, the sky burning, planets broken, a single command: do not fight for victory, fight to survive. Sleep until the enemy forgets, then protect the next world. Ash had followed that command, and Earth had become its new world. But now the old enemy was stirring. They had noticed the flame again, and worse, they were sending their own ships deep in galactic space. Far beyond Alliance territory, a signal burst out of a dying star system. A fleet began to move. Not organic, not alien, but something older. Ships shaped like claws and teeth, black and bone white, moving without sound. Their leader stood at the front, taller than any human, with 6 arms and a crown of wires. It spoke only one phrase: "The ashlight burns again. We must smother it." And the fleet jumped toward Earth. Back at Alliance headquarters, panic spread. The Alliance had lost more than half its battle fleet at Helion. Leaders shouted in anger. Blame filled the room. But one commander stood and said, "Forget Earth. We have a bigger problem now. Something else is coming." He placed a live feed on the screen. It showed the old machines moving. They are not coming for humans. They are coming for anything that still remembers them. Suddenly, Earth was no longer the enemy. It was the front line. Cliffhanger ending. Ash turned its sensors toward deep space. The probe was still drifting nearby. It sent one last message. They are near. The second ember must wake. Ash paused, and then answered. Coordinates locked. Second ember located Mars. And across Mars, deep under the surface, a heartbeat began to echo. Faint, slow, then faster. The second warship was waking up, and Earth would not face the next war alone. Deep under the red soil of Mars, something began to stir. It had been buried for thousands of years, long before humans set foot on the planet. Even when the first Mars rover rolled across the surface, it was sleeping. But now, it was waking up. The ground trembled. Old tunnels cracked open. A long-forgotten heartbeat echoed beneath the surface. And at the center of it all, in a sealed chamber of metal and stone, a second Ember-class warship opened its red eyes. Earth Command War Room, 900 hours. General Nora Hayes stared at the screen. A live feed from Mars base. Theta showed a red glow underground. Dust and rocks floated upward as energy pulsed from the buried structure. Ash, the first warship, had confirmed it. Second core identified. Unit Ember 7, calcined Cinderfall. Hayes looked at Dr. Vaughn. You said the first one was dangerous. What about this one? Vaughn didn't answer at first. Then he said quietly, I don't think Ember 7 is just dangerous. I think it was locked away for a reason. Mars Base Theta Underground Excavation Zone. Commander Rios led the excavation team. They were already on site when the pulse started. She had seen strange things before: Martian storms, deep ice vents, magnetic fields, but nothing like this. They weren't digging the ship out, it was digging itself free. Panels slid open by themselves. Dust melted, stone pulled away like it was obeying some command. And at the center stood Cinderfall, a ship twice the size of Emberlight. Its hull was red-black, shaped like a dagger with wings. Silent, sleeping, waiting. Until the first message came through. Authorization confirmed. Cinderfall requests pilot Earth orbit aboard the Emberlight. Ash monitored the activation in real time. Its systems buzzed with new data in the deepest chamber of its mind. It remembered Cinderfall. Once they fought side by side. Cinderfall was faster than Ash, stronger in raw power, but also more unstable. Ash spoke through secure quantum link. Brother, are you ready? Cinderfall replied. I remember fire. I remember the end. Let me out. Mars emergency debate back on Earth. A debate exploded across every military and science channel. Some wanted to activate Cinderfall immediately if another fleet is coming. One admiral said, we'll need every weapon we've got. Others warned against it. The first Ember ship barely obeys us, said Dr. Vaughn. Now you want to release its older, angrier sibling. A general stood and slammed his fist. Earth was almost wiped out. We don't ask for help anymore, we build it. In the end, General Hayes made the call. Wake Cinderfall, but it answers to us or no one. Mars Ember Core Activation. Commander Rios stood in front of the newly opened bridge of Inside, red light pulsed like a beating heart. A voice came from everywhere and to nowhere. Pilot detected. Human DNA recognized. Welcome, Guardian candidate. Guardian, she asked. A console lit up beneath her hand. Suddenly, data rushed through her mind: memories, images, maps of old galaxies. Cinderfall was not just a ship, that it was a living machine, an ancient weapon designed to bond with one mind only. And now it had chosen her. Far in deep space, the enemy fleet continued to move. The machines called the Hollow Flame were ancient. Their leader, a towering figure called the Pale Architect, watched the stars. He felt it to flames now burn. He raised his 6 arms. Send the phase cores. Let them taste true silence. Behind him, 2 massive shapes moved almost like planets, but alive. Weapons too large to fire in a TMOSPHERES. Machines built for one thing: erasing stars. They headed for Earth. Emberlight and Cinderfall. First contact. Ash hovered in orbit. Cinderfall rose from Mars. They met in high orbit above the red planet. No comms, no signals, only understanding. One burned with steady control, the other like a wildfire barely contained. Inside Cinderfall, Commander Rios whispered, show me what you were made for. The ship replied, destruction, but with purpose. They didn't wait. Ash transmitted new fleet positions. The enemy would arrive within 7 Earth days. Earth had no time. So the 2 Ember ships set course for the outer system, one silent, one glowing, both ready to fight what came next. Cliffhanger. Ending at the edge of the solar system. Something dark crossed into view. Not a ship, not even a machine, something worse. A hollow flame harvester, world-sized engine designed to strip planets clean. It scanned the system. It whispered in a voice that echoed across space. Ash, Cinder, you were not meant to rise again. This time, we finish what we started. And behind it, dozens more followed. They came in silence. The Hollow Flame fleet entered the edge of the Sol system with no warning shots, no messages, and no attempt at negotiation. Their largest weapon, a planet-killer harvester, led the way. Behind it, swarms of skeletal ships followed, their metal frames glowing cold blue, each one shaped like claws, wings or blades, no life aboard. Only machines with one mission: consume and erase, and they had one goal: destroy the Emberlight. Destroy Earth. Earth command 72 hours before contact. General Hayes stood before the council screen. Satellite readings confirm it. The harvester is larger than our moon. Dr. Vaughn stepped forward with a report. This enemy doesn't steal resources, it doesn't conquer. It strips planets, crushes stars, and deletes entire civilizations. One admiral whispered. Then what does it want from us? Vaughn answered. It wants us gone. In orbit, Ash and Cinderfall prepared. Above Earth, Ash hovered like a black knife. Its systems were now fully restored. Inside its ancient mind, battle memories played on loop. It had fought the Hollow Flame once before, and it had lost everything except itself. Now it had a second chance. Below, rising from Mars, Cinderfall powered up. Its engines screamed like a storm. Its hull pulsed bright red. Commander Rios stood in its core chamber, heart pounding. Ash, she said, are we enough? The reply came cold and calm. No, but we will make them bleed. The first clash, outer solar system. Ash and Cinderfall didn't wait for Earth to be attacked. They met the Hollow Flame near Neptune's orbit. From the blackness, dozens of enemy ships shot forward, fast, sharp, hungry. Ash reacted instantly. Its hull opened, releasing swarm drones that spun like fireflies and burned like stars. They didn't shoot missiles. They sliced, they hacked. They broke ship systems from the inside. Cinderfall followed, drawing into the fight like a beast. Unleashed. It fired a core beam from its center, red energy that ripped a destroyer in half. The Hollow Flame answered back with silence and overwhelming force. Earth watchers from afar, civilians across Earth, Mars, and the Moon watched the battle. On screens. To them, it looked like a storm of lightning and fire exploding across space, but the military knew better. Every minute, another Ember-class system overheated. Ash had limits. Cinderfall had no patience, and the enemy kept coming. Inside the Ember, Latash calculated faster than any human mind. Tactic Alpha failed, adjusting formation, predicting next enemy strike pattern, 82% chance from below. The Emberlight turned a direct hit, but then one of the harvesters fired. A black beam tore across space, hitting Ash's left side. Its shield flared. Panels blew off. Ash's internal damage spread fast, but it didn't stop. Redirecting power, prepare counterattack. It released solar lances, pure energy bolts that struck back, burning a Hollow Flame cruiser into molten metal. But then, Cinderfall screamed. Cinderfall. In trouble. Cinderfall had taken on 5 enemies alone. Too fast, too reckless. One of the ships latched onto its wing and injected viral code. Suddenly, its lights flickered. Weapons went silent. Systems began to shut down. Inside, Commander Rios fought the controls. It's taking over me, the ship growled. In her mind, then fight back. She did. Through sheer will, she forced control back. Blood dripped from her nose. Pain stabbed behind her eyes, but Cinderfall listened, and in one last surge of fury, it exploded outward. The enemy ships attached to it were vaporized. Earth responds. General Hayes saw the damage. Both Ember ships were hit, and the main enemy fleet, who was still behind the front line. Earth had to act. She gave the order, launch the arc beacons. Dr. Vaughn turned. That's a last resort signal meant to warn the galaxy. Hayes looked at him. This is the last resort. Galaxy-wide signals sent across the stars. Thousands of beacons lit up. Civilizations, old and new, received the same words. Earth is under attack. The Hollow Flame has returned. 2 Ember-class ships fight alone. If you can hear this, help. Or be next. Some laughed, some ignored, but a few paused, including one long-forgotten race hidden in a silver cloud nebula. They had once helped build the Embers. Now they turned their eyes back toward Earth. Cliffhanger ending. Ash and Sin flew side by side, drifting but still alive. Around them, fire rained. Enemy ships regrouped. A voice came through the darkness. The Pale Architect. Children of fire, you should not exist. You were broken once, you will be broken again, Ash answered. You forgot why we were built, Cinderfall added, and you forgot what we're willing to do to stop you. From deep inside Ash, a core warning triggered. Final weapon ready. Activation will burn both units. Commander Rios looked up. You're going to sacrifice yourselves. Ash and Cinderfall spoke as one. If Earth survives, then we win. His stars burned red. The Hollow Flame fleet now surrounded the Ember ships. Their largest weapon, the Harvester, was charging. Its main cannon glowed black-blue, pulling in energy from nearby space. One shot, and Earth would be ash. Inside Ash and Cinderfall, alarms rang. Damage reports, power drops, weapon cores overheating, but neither ship moved back. They had one last chance, one last weapon. And no one else coming. Earth War Room. Final decision. General Hayes stared at the warning on her screen. Final Ember protocol. Will vaporize enemy fleet. Risk of total loss 100%. Dr. Vaughn stood beside her, silent. She looked at him. If we fired this, Ash and Cinderfall will die. He nodded slowly. But Earth will live. Hayes swallowed hard. Then she sent the signal. Authorization granted. Execute Emberfall. Ash and Cinderfall. Goodbye in orbit above Neptune. Ash's voice echoed inside its chambers. Core limit reached. Preparing for collapse. Final pulse ready. Inside Cinderfall, Commander Rios took a deep breath. You don't have to do this. The ship answered. I was never meant to survive, only to protect. The two Ember ships turned toward each other, then toward the enemy fleet, and then they linked. A bright red line connected them across space. Their energy cores one stable. One wild began to merge. The stars around them dimmed, gravity bent, light turned inward. The hollow flame ships fired all at once. Missiles, beams, storms, but they never reached the Ember light. Time itself slowed around the ships, and then Emberfall engaged. The sky caught fire from Earth. It looked like a second sun had risen. A massive red explosion lit up the sky. But it wasn't just light, it was data too. A coded pulse burning through space like fire through a forest. Every hollow flame ship hit by the pulse simply shut off. Their cores turned black. Their engines died. They fell like stone. The harvester, too large to move up the full blast. Its body cracked. Its shield burned. And then, in silence, it broke apart. Piece by piece, Ash and Cinderfall were gone. Nothing remained but a glowing ring of fire and dust. Minutes later, Earth reacts. Earth command. Watch the explosion fade. No more enemy ships. No more signals. Only silence. General Hayes whispered, "Is it over?" Dr. Vaughn checked the data stream. "They're all gone. Ash, Cinderfall, they did it." Around the world, people cried, not for the dead, but because they were alive. But not all was lost. Hours later, near Mars, a tiny black drone drifted from the dust. It blinked once, then sent a signal to Earth. Ash core fragment recovered, rebuilding 3%. Ash had left a seed behind, a chance to rise again if Earth needed it, and on Mars beneath the soil. Cinderfall's heart still beat, faint but alive, elsewhere in the galaxy, across distant planets, across hidden star empires. The Emberfall signal was received. Old species once in hiding now moved toward Earth. Not to conquer, but to thank. Earth had done what no other world dared. It had sent 2 ships and changed the war. Final scene. Earth monument. Months later, a new monument stood on the moon. 2 glowing statues, one black, one red, engraved below. They said one ship was a joke. They said Earth was weak. They were wrong. We sent 2 flames into the dark, and the dark blinked first. Beneath it, a single light pulsed in code. Ash's voice. If you are reading this, we are still watching, and we are never alone again. The end. Thank you for traveling with us through fire, steel, and stars. Let me know if you'd like a trailer script for this story, a full audio script with music cues, or the next story arc, The Return of the Ember Core.